Hey everybody, welcome back. It is the Fantasy Rugby, and my name is Jared Dyke.
I'm Ben Glauser.
Let's turn it in. We got quite a bit to churn through here, because we decided to go ahead and make life difficult on ourselves and watch the final this weekend too. But it was worth it.
Yeah, it was worth it.
It was worth it. It was totally worth it. So I'm not sad about it. It just
No, that was an excellent match.
Also, considering some of the Super Rugby matches this weekend, that's probably a good replacement.
Yeah, I will honestly say I watched about a half of Super Rugby this weekend, and I didn't want to watch anymore.
You were done. I know what half you watched too.
Yeah, if you listen to the pod, you know exactly which half. And then then I looked up at the scores, and I'm like, every one of them is like a 20-point tonking. Like, no, fuck this. I'm good.
Yeah. I mean, I had most of these on in the background with the exception of Hurricanes and Forts, which I watched on Friday while I was doing my lifting. Okay, let's just talk a little bit about these things called beers.
I don't want to talk about beers. I want to drink about beers.
That's also a good idea. Beers are better enjoyed when consumed instead of talked about. I found some of my old friend Zero Gravity up at the local store here.
Nice.
From
Vermont. I really want the. So for those of you who don't live in the Boston area or in general New England, the Free Jacks beer that's brewed by Baxter is quite enjoyable.
Had a couple myself.
We had a couple at the game this weekend. I mean, we've had some before, but always a pleasure.
Yeah, that's a good one. I like it's
hard to get though outside of the Free Jacks matches.
Right, it's really a pain in the ass to get right now. Sorry, did that. Find us on your favorite podcast app. Download, rate, review. Let us know how you found us. All that good stuff. And a little bit of a and ping who mentioned you if it was somebody else too, especially if it was one of the guys in Champions League. Buy our friend George a coffee. Fantasy Rugby Geek. He's going to be vital to your run-ins for those of you, especially in sitting in semifinals in both Super Rugby and Prem. We had those kick off this past weekend, and also to those of you that are chasing some sort of trophy in the Rugby Mag. Speaking
of those types of people,
Rugby Magazine.
Yeah,
get your upgrades. Support the Restart Rugby. It's always an awesome cause, and like we've been talking about, and something I will mention, kind of going hand in hand, is the mental fitness that the MLR has been pushing, which I'm all about as well. Looseheads is doing something really cool. Actually, they're doing I think basically they'll put a name on one of their jerseys for you or something like that. Like put your name on it. I was like, okay, I'm down. So I'm probably gonna chuck them a donation and get myself a jersey. Yeah, they're really cool guys. But yes, get your restart, get your TRM upgrade so you can both get ahead of the pack and support your Restart Rugby locals there. Black Lives Matter, as always, on this podcast. And of course, this month is also Pride Month. Happy Pride Month to all our friends that are celebrating.
So much going on this month.
Yeah,
June is fucking crazy.
Yeah, June's wild. But at least it's
right.
June.
And it's right. Pride Month, which is also, as you said, awesome. Yes. I'm really proud now that it's celebrated and that everybody's, although you'll love to see the corporations who were
gay for a day
for so long. Yeah.
Fuck off.
Shut the fuck up.
Fuck off. No, you're not.
You're not. But yeah, other than that, other than trying to co-opt the whole celebration of Pride, it's just a fantastic, month-long event. And I know how important it is to the community. So,
yes.
Yeah. So obviously there's support.
Yeah.
We're also at Juneteenth too, coming up.
Yeah.
soon.
We're coming up here a couple weeks.
Which is obviously a major, it's not widely known enough. There's not nearly enough awareness of it. And especially around the Tulsa, as they're called, race riots, which
massacre.
Right. It was a massacre. And yet, it's barely taught in schools. And when it was, it's like, oh yeah, there was some fighting on both sides were fighting.
Bullshit.
It's like, no,
one side was bullshit,
fighting
sir.
And one side was dying. That's not really how,
That's not a fight.
Right. That was the first use of coordinated aerial bombing in human history.
Of course we did it too.
Not in a war. by civilians by white people on black people. Like, what the fuck?
Sounds smart, right?
Yeah.
Not.
But I also wanted to bring up, in the spirit of Black Lives Matter and loose heads type stuff, Naomi Osaka pulling out of the French Open because of, she was like, you know what, I can't do this shit with the media anymore. It's not,
media's tough, man.
A good relationship.
It can be, like, especially in an individual sport like tennis or golf or anything like that, boxing, stuff like that, where it's just you and you're leaning on yourself. That is a game all in itself going on between your ears. And sometimes the media just makes it a more difficult game sometimes. So I don't blame her at all.
Especially tennis being such a fucking white person's exclusive country
white collar, white collar sport,
collar.
big time.
That it's going to be that much harder. They're going to be the media is going to be that much more critical of athletes of color in that kind of environment, just precisely because that's what their audience mostly wants to hear. Let's be honest. So yeah, that's it. Good for Naomi for doing what she had to do for herself.
100%.
And for her mental health, and if the sport values her participation and the the fame that and the attention it brings to the sport of tennis, which is kind of not that, I don't know how widespread it is at this point. If that's what they want to do, they want to kill, any attention at them, then go ahead. But if they want to, stay relevant, they're going to have to fix their shit. Yeah. And get the media in line.
Right. So good on Naomi. And, we support those people celebrating Pride Month. We celebrate with you, even though we are not, we have no idea what you go through. So
yeah,
at the same time, so we're working on learning, but but just bear with us. But so we appreciate you all. We are opening a second tier of Champions League. We have 6 still, so we need 2 more, just 2 more. Malcolm, phone call out there for our boy Malcolm, wherever the hell you are, you do these games so well, and we want you to get your butt into Champions League. So if you're listening to this podcast, the first thing you should do afterwards is either message Ben or myself, and that's the end. Okay.
And
bring a friend.
If you've I tend not to oversell things. Anyway, but it really is an enjoyable experience, and this open invitation is an opportunity. Let's put it that way.
Absolutely,
it's a lot of fun.
Yes, it is. It's a great time. Okay. To the news cycle, player movement. Not much in terms of guys going around. Bath signing a pair of tight heads with Darcy Ray and Jonas Juncker going to the Rec. But I believe
a lot of players stay the same places. Not much
a lot of re-signings, which is good. Like Charlie Atkinson got a contract.
Yeah,
good for him.
Right,
I like him. But a couple of retirings. What's that?
Stay away from Faz.
Yeah, please. Don't duck and cover, kid.
And Dan Bigger. We'll get to that later.
Poor kid. But Ross Batty is hanging up because of injury. He's had a decent career, honestly. He's not that old, but he's not that young either. Right. Certainly not compared to Brophy Clues, who's hung him up because of his head injuries. And that is just a terrible, terrible bit of news that came out of the Exiles a couple weeks ago.
Right. We missed it. Sorry.
But yeah, we didn't touch on it. But man, it's awful. And, I coach the high school kids, and I'm like, listen, this kid is not that much older than you guys. And he's done playing. So enjoy what you're doing right now, because this could be your last, and you never know. And, you never want it to be, but you never know. Never, ever know.
That's such a shame. He had so much, like that. It's definitely a different feeling, and no disrespect to Ross Batty, because he hell of a career, and it's just that it got shortened. Brophy Clues had a ridiculous ceiling of potential. So, and he was super young, and that's I feel the same way for both of them. But at the same time, I feel like Ross got a little bit more of an opportunity, so I'm a little
did.
less sympathetic, because I think it was like, okay, yeah, it sucks. I mean, it's a neck injury; it just wasn't healing, and you don't fuck with the same thing. Head, neck, don't fuck with.
Don't fuck with it, man. Not worth it.
So yeah, it's unfortunate. I feel like we were deprived of what Brophy Clues could have been, as much as he was deprived of showing us.
So much so. Got a little robbed there. Hopefully we'll see something else coming out of there soon over at the Exiles. One that I grabbed late, Dan Pryor, the dreadlocked Kiwi who used to play for the Sunwolves, is coming to the States. He has been signed by the San Diego Legion.
All right.
Yeah. So they're loading up. They're obviously going to try and make a run.
Loaded for gills.
Yeah, right. It's the one match I don't want to lose if I'm them. Absolutely. Yeah. They already got tonked by them. I'm sure they're not in any interest in whatsoever in getting tonked by them again.
No.
So
that's
cool.
Free Jacks made a signing today, though. They signed a Mystic guy.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah, I don't know. A flanker. I can't remember his name. It looked familiar, but I don't know. I don't remember being terribly impressed, but
neither do I.
I'm not terribly impressed by a lot of the Mystic guys. That's just me.
Same. So in other news, Sarries and Harper has been called a draw from last week.
Bullshit.
Yeah, I mean,
allergies.
Here's the thing. Does it matter?
I don't think so.
Right. But it just seemed like it's, in terms of the consistency we've been going with this whole year, at least in England. If you get the COVID, you get the loss. And that's just how it's been.
The way it's been.
And if it were to be as it's been recently with a bonus point win and 20 points, that would be enough to put the Saracens in first.
Right.
So they're in the top two, so maybe that's what they're thinking.
It doesn't matter. They're still going to win. But,
yeah, I think they'll still handle business, but it's really just a matter of, are they playing the last game at Ealing or are they playing at the Stone X? You know,
I really don't think it matters.
Yeah, and I'm hoping it won't.
I think, you know what, it might be nice for Ealing to host a championship game against Sarries, because that would not happen very often, right? How often does Sarries have Sarries hosted championship matches?
Oh, they're always at Twickenham, so
right. That's true. So
they're always at Twickenham, so
right. So we'll see, I think, I'm okay with Ealing hosting one, just for the story. tell their grandkids, yeah, we got snotted by Saracens at home.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, as much of a full noise lineup as they gave them a few weeks ago, there's still a couple guys that weren't in that lineup. So yeah, it should be interesting. So if they decide, all right, this week's the bye week and they don't play it, okay, cool. Well, away we go to the finals week in the next couple of weeks, and that'll be the end.
Yep.
All right, let's go over to Trans-Tasman. Hurricanes Force seemed to be just kind of wilting away as the season goes, unfortunately.
Well, plus that trip.
Oh, it's a bit of a trip, I know.
It's a long plane ride there. So
yep. Celestine Riassi just had his way. Like, it is,
as he does. It
is unquestionable. He just had his way. The run by Asafo Amua probably just made everybody feel terrible about themselves. Yeah, no Dane Cole's no problem.
Yeah, just the hooker did that. That's fucked up.
He's a tough unit to stop.
70 meters, but like running by guys like they're standing still. I mean, I realize they were standing still, but they didn't even bother to chase, really.
No, they didn't look like they were doing a whole lot.
Nope, there he goes. It was just what talent, though. I mean, it's not every hooker or every forward that they're just going to let go like that without really, but shit.
Yeah, he's a scary one.
Yeah,
he is a scary one.
That is pace. Unfair.
Yeah, and we saw the return of the one Artie Savea as well. So that's bad news for everybody else.
That's very bad news for everybody else.
So yeah, Canes keep pace with the Blues, which is all I can ask for at this point. Taz and Crusaders. Taz put up a fight, but man, the Crusaders are just way too much between Mwanga and Fainga and Nuku, and this kid named Will Jordan seems to be pretty good too. Last I saw, oh man, they're beast. And Will Harrison seems like he's kind of come back to form.
Mhm.
I bet you will see him at 10 very soon because Ben Donald just looks like he's starting to get over his head. Ben Donaldson, excuse me.
He's over his skis at this point. It was one of those like it was good while it lasted. Now all of a sudden it's it is the film's out on him.
Yeah.
So
and the Parise kid looks pretty good too. He's played really well since this competition turned over. So not bad on his part, but just those Crusaders are way too much sometimes.
Mhm.
That's just how she goes.
Right. What are you gonna do?
Right. Blues, Brumbies. Man, Brumbies, what the hell, man? Like, this was supposed to be one of Australia's best shots, and they've just kind of outside of that Crusaders match.
Yeah.
Christie looked really good, though.
I feel like in many a bunch of the Aussie teams have just given up.
They might, and you might see them kind of start to mail it in. Although Reds put out a pretty good lineup this week, so
yeah. Well, I mean, we'll get to that, but that's what I'm saying. A lot of them, not all of them, because I don't think the Rebels quite have yet either. But I feel like Brumbies, Taz don't want to be there anymore.
No,
and the Force, they still want to. I think the Force still want to put up a good showing, and that was
not a good one this past weekend. Right. I can tell you that one.
Poor representation.
They did have a one. Kahui had quite a few fans in the stands that were there to watch him. We saw the Beaver, Stephen Donald in the stands. They used to play together with the Chiefs, so right. I'm sure he gave him all kinds of hell afterwards. But anyway, yeah, Blues and Brumbies. Finlay Christie looks really good, and he seems to just be coming into every bit of form that I was hoping he would be to start. Coming around now, though, so good on him. And they talked about Bryce Heem. They were talking about him really just putting a marker down since Caleb Clark's left, and like how good of a signing he's been since he came back to New Zealand.
It's been ridiculous. Mm-hmm. Like they've gotten better with Heem in there than Clark, and that's
it's not a knock on Clark, right?
No, right. It's just fucked up. That's all.
I will say one thing. Fainga I think he's lost his starting spot at hooker. Honestly, he's not looked good this whole season. So I'm sure Dave Rennie is looking for other options. Maybe he comes good, in a couple of years. But for this season, I would be definitely looking for somebody else. You got to have more options than one. And even because Paenga most is leaving for Montpellier, so you can't even lean on that. So you definitely got to start looking.
Yeah. I mean, when it's one thing when you're scoring a try every match, and it's hard to knock what you're doing. But when you're not doing that, it's pretty easy to find gaps in your play.
Absolutely, agreed. The one match you watched anything of, Reds and Chiefs.
Fucking what the? What are you thinking? Like when is that? When is the whole jump and flail and shoulder someone in the face move legal on the field?
Or a good idea.
I mean, I turned on. I woke up Friday morning. Saturday morning, and my iPad, I had laid my iPad next to my bed so that I could just get up or roll over, flip it on, and check out what was going on in the Chiefs match, and I turn it on to that.
That's just the worst.
And it's like they're doing the replay. I'm like, wait, why are they because and at first all I see is the try being scored. And like they're reviewing it, and I'm like, okay, it's good. What the fuck? Why would they review that? And then all of a sudden they're like, oh, and here's Damian McKenzie. He's going, boom. I'm like, oh, what the fuck?
Damn.
So I watched like another however much of that, the rest of that first half, and then I popped in the second half, and I was just like, no. So I turned it off.
Done.
I've seen enough. Don't need to watch any more of this at like 7 in the morning. Yep.
Yes. So not the best moment for D-Mack.
And I understand they rallied around without him. That 20-minute rule is nice now. I'm in favor. But
well, yeah, of course you are.
But yeah, they were just shit in the bed at that point anyway. So maybe it took that for them to pull their heads out of their asses.
A little bit, yeah, and because they left it really late and they had a shot at it, but just couldn't find a way to get it done.
Yeah, but that's you can't win a game in the first half, but you can lose a game in the first half.
Something like that, yeah. Trask did very well in place.
Yeah, I'm actually, at first I was like, well, and then I saw obviously McKenzie's been suspended the rest of the season,
right?
So I was like, you know what, that might be a good thing because they have relied on him to do fucking everything.
Yeah,
and they don't have to. He can be another cog in the machine, just like a fucking awesome one. But no, they like kind of make it way too much about him, and I think they can. I was looking at their what their potential lineup could be this coming week, and I'm like, oh wait, no, they could just smash anyway.
Yep.
So no matter who with Trask at 10, they'll still be okay.
Yeah. And there were a couple younger guys, not young, but younger guys. One's 22, one's 25. Vunivalu and Isaac Henry both played their pants off in this match as well. Isaac Henry had a pair of tries and looked good running those hard lines, and love me a hard line runner, phrasing boom. So it's not like the Reds didn't earn quite a bit of it. Daigonu just was everywhere.
Sure. Yes, he was.
He's a problem, and everybody should know it by now. If you don't, you've been under a rock. So Reds gave it the old college try, but I think they're actually eliminated even from.
Oh yeah, I bet at this point.
From knockout at this point. From the final.
This is their third. Well, no, they're 1-2.
Yeah, but no bonus point on that one.
Bonus
they needed
point
it.
And, yeah.
2 matches left. Math doesn't work well sometimes.
Not really. They have to hope the bottom falls out of the New Zealand teams.
Yeah, I'm not sure it does, but at least they got the Australian teams. Yeah, at least the Australian teams got one on the board.
Yeah, that's good. Fucking, of course, it had to be against the Chiefs, but yeah,
of course it did. And then we go over to Leichhardt Oval. Excuse me, Highlanders and Rebels. This was a match that got moved for COVID reasons. But it was all Highlanders all day for the most part. Rebels played a small part in this thing, but man, there was a guy we talked about last week. I don't remember his name. Do you? From the Highlanders?
Narki?
Like
I don't know.
Something like that. Well, he was pretty good. So
yeah, he's fucking ridiculous as always.
Yeah, he's kind of good. So he was very good. I mean, they could just lean on him. Honestly, he's just done really well. I like Michael Collins at 13.
I do too.
He's done pretty well with that.
They flipped him and CO, and it's worked out for both of them.
Tompkinson, yeah.
Yep,
it's worked out quite well for them. So it was a decent move. Corabetti finally breaks his duck. Has not scored all year. He gets 2. So if you played him, you got lucky.
Hey, question. This George Worth character.
Same guy.
What?
Same guy from Leicester.
What? Shut up.
Yeah. Same guy.
No way.
Same guy.
No. That's bullshit. You, sir, are bullshit. It's like saying Josh Adams on Wales is the same guy as who was on Worcester a couple of years. Shut up.
Wait a minute. Something's not adding up here.
Or Jordan Oluwafela is the same. Yeah, no.
Right.
What the fuck? It just goes to show.
Change the system, change the uniform.
Yeah.
Helps sometimes, man.
Also, while we're also talking about Rebels, can I just give another little bit more love to Michael Wells? I really like the guy.
Yeah, that dude. I'm pretty sure when Rennie called his camp a few weeks ago, he was in it. And he deserves it. He's number one. He took the place of Naisarani, who was everybody's favorite 8-man for Australia. So apart from Harry Wilson, obviously Harry Wilson's my preference, but that's just me.
And me.
Yeah, but that dude's just played his balls off. So, yep, I like him too. He's a hard man. He's somebody I want next to me if I'm on a goal line. That's for sure. Yeah, I'm good. Either side of the ball.
Yeah, right.
Either side of the ball. Both work. Whew. All right. Running up to the Prem. Friday night. Sale and Bristol. Can't say I'm super shocked at the result because considering that Sale were able to pull it off at Ashton Gate. But still just a slight disappointment at the same time.
Yeah, I think Bristol had... I don't like. I feel like Bristol tried to match Sale's style of play a little too much, especially around the goal line. Like there were a couple times in the first half, I think, where Bristol were doing pick and goes, and it's like that's not your thing. Like the field is the similar width on the goal line and 40 meters out. So like if you're a running team, fuck it. What's the worst? What's literally the worst that happens? You get tackled behind the gain line, and now you're 15 meters out with a, and maybe the fullback has to drop a bit. Maybe you give yourself a little bit more. Like, just play your game. It doesn't matter where. Like that was winning. That was what was breaking the line routinely. It was when you tried to go away from that Sale were able to get you into their game, and you don't want to play Sale's game. That's why that's why the half ended 0-0.
Right.
Like, because you dicked around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a whole lot of that. On the Sale side, though, the Dupria twins were beastly in this. Better than the Curry twins, honestly, if we're honest about this one.
Yes. Yeah. Dupria's just all three of them.
Yeah. Yeah. Robert scored a try even.
Yeah. Bastards.
Yep. Quite good.
Yeah.
Quite good. Those boys are.
Yeah.
Quite good.
And I got to say, it doesn't feel nearly as bad to see Sale win against Bristol when it's when John O'Ross doesn't play a part.
Right. And when AJ McKinney's playing 10.
And wait, who was the best 9 in this match?
Had to be Rafi Quark.
Had
to be Rafi Quark. That kid played amazingly.
Yeah, I just wanted to acknowledge that. Good job, Rafi.
Had to be.
Yeah,
undoubtedly. Good to see Shapiro return for Bristol too. That I really love the way he started his tenure with them. Unfortunately, he's not going to stick around that long. But man, and then we saw 2 returnees off the bench, one on each side that everybody was singing to the rafters for. Harry Thacker on the Bristol side, and Manitoulin on the other side. Yeah, just the game's better with guys like that back in the game. So
it is.
Can't complain about it.
Shit, who had that step at the end or for the try? Was it
John Lloyd, the young kid? Yep.
Holy shit, that step. That's why I was like, wait, that must have been Malin's but that was Lloyd. Just absolutely. I'm gonna force you back inside and just now open this 10-meter gap up.
I know. It was mean. It was mean. I was like, ooh, that felt mean.
He's just assholed him. Great work. You love to see it.
Love to see it. Yeah, great stuff. So we'll see what kind of preview this is for down the road. But
can we also acknowledge Sale's final 3 matches? I don't know if we have yet.
They're tough.
I don't know if anybody has.
It's this one, then they play Quins, and they play Exeter.
Yes. So they play the other semifinal teams the last 3 weeks of the season.
They could have a hell of a psychological hold over some of these guys if they do well.
Yep. I think that's pretty fascinating, especially because each one of those games, they kind of like it changes their seeding, right?
Could be.
They're because right now they're in 3rd with 68 points. Quins are in 4th with 66. So Quins win and Sale but then again, would Sale want to be away to Bristol or away to Exeter?
I don't think there's a good answer on either side of it, honestly.
Because they're 5 points behind Exeter. They're 8 points behind Bristol. So probably not going to get to number 1, Sale are. Probably not going to get a home semi. So then at that point, it's like, okay, pick your poison. Yeah.
So we'll see.
Of course, same goes for Quins. So I'm basically what I'm saying is I'm interested to see what that lineup shows up. But what a hell of a final 3 matches for Sale.
Should be interesting. Just the same. The other Friday night match, Gloucester and London Irish, and we had a dandy in this one. We had quite a doozy.
We did. Open play. Grizzled veteran winning it at the death.
Yes, absolutely.
With the clangers of it, like dust off his. He had to dust off his clangers.
Yeah, these things. I remember. There's those things hidden in the bottom of some closet.
Right.
12 Trees knocks him over.
I still got him.
Yeah, he still knows where they are. It was here's something that I found very interesting with like Singleton. I think it's funny that I've noticed this in different hookers as far as their throwing technique. He's like basically trying to block his own view of the way he holds the ball, and then you have like Matu who just like is flying wide open like he's trying to take off. And honestly, the accuracy between the two is also different to me. Like I didn't think Matu threw well when he came in, and I thought Singleton seemed to hit BBs everywhere he went. So I know he had a couple of bad throws, but shit. I was like, oh, okay. I think I like his technique better. Just something I noted when I was watching. I was like, of course, that's the coach in my brain that also.
Yeah, I always think of the less motion you have, the less that can go wrong.
Right. That's kind of what I was thinking too. Anyway, to the actual rugbies. Shit, Carreras. Man, he scoots. He scoots.
Yep.
Not bad. Pretty good stuff.
Little quick. On the other end, Ben Morgan.
Not so fast.
Going to work on the fitness in the off season, but it's good to see him out there. It's good to see. Yeah, it is. And then the baby that came onto the field for the Exiles, Englefield. My goodness, he looked like a child coming onto that, and he's so small too. I was like, oh boy, this is gonna be a hell of a wake up call for him. Just cover my yeah. I want to get into two things though for serious.
Shoot.
The two decisions made by the officiating crew that I find disturbing in context to the and I think it ended up affecting the game, which is the Rob Simmons yellow. To me, that's a seatbelt tackle and nothing more.
Right.
I thought a yellow was harsh. But then we saw Lewis Ludlam. His tackle late in the match was a lot worse than that, and they're like, "No, penalty only." And it's like you've set the standards with a yellow, that's a serious standard to set, and now you got to stick by that standard. Now, obviously, I favor Gloucester in a matchup like this, so I'm not going to complain too loudly, but I am going to make the point because I'm certainly they're not in the level of honkdom where I'm going to take their side just to take their side. No, they didn't. I don't think they deserve to end up winning because I think if that was officiated correctly, I think the Irish take it. Right.
And then you have. I mean, I'm sorry. This is just another guy that we know is, you and I strongly believe that is not international quality, and yet he's still getting international matches, and he's just such a dick about it. Like, he has not earned what
was it? Foley?
No, it was Carly.
Oh yeah.
He's not earned the things that a lot of international referees, like Nigel's not around anymore, but like a Barnesy, things like that. Like, Gus Gardner is another one that I can think of that's been good for a long time at that level. Nick Berry, same thing.
Yeah.
Carly's not that good, and he's just such an asshole about it. I'm like, you haven't earned that. And there was in contrast, another game we're going to talk about in a second. Not in a second, but in a little bit. The Northampton referee, Leal, kind of let himself get pushed around.
He did, totally.
But he did a lot of things very correctly.
Yeah.
I just wish he had slightly larger stones to just be like, all right, enough.
Yeah.
You don't need to be a dick about it, but you can also just lay down the law and be like, I haven't refereed that many games, but I'm still the referee, so shut the fuck up.
Right. Yeah, the players, like, they're seeing what they can get away with, and that
they will push you.
We'll get to it.
They'll always push you. Yep, absolutely. I agree.
I don't want to get into that yet.
Yeah,
but yeah,
Quins and Bath just the same. This was another wide open contest, and I'm sure the coaching staff at Quins is going to be a little bit worrisome in this case, where they're just bleeding points left and right, and finally they did get the win and the playoff spot nailed down thanks to Lendajo. But man, like, I'm sure they would wish to not do that ever again.
No, not ever again.
Yep.
Although the Don Brandt to Levy's try was
he's
fierce.
Good. He's good. He is very good.
Quite pleasurable.
Extremely. And this is, if I'm Stuart Hooper, Bath are out of it. But man, I'm feeling really good about what I could potentially do next season if I can keep most of these guys healthy, because we didn't even have Mercer on the field, who's not going to be there next year. Priest is probably the one exception, but you trade out Priest for somebody like DC, Cipriani. Probably feeling pretty good about it.
Yeah, I'm feeling pretty confident there. I no disrespect to Priest, but we know what Sips can do when he's in form.
100%. Agreed.
And you got a lot with Murr and and Ojomo.
Man, I was extremely impressed with Ojoma. That was the kid, just like he'd been doing it the whole year. He had this is like his second game, I think.
Yes, his first time start, second match.
Ridiculous.
Just showing he can, like, we talked about this with Caleb Clark. Like, he expressed himself. He's like, look what I can do. Like, can you do all these things? And the answer is probably not really.
There's a couple guys that probably is no on that one. So
yeah. And then Max Clark too,
wow. I didn't know he had the abilities that he's shown.
He's shown them, but not in spurts. But if this is their center combo for a while, well, obviously
it's going to be, I think.
Yeah.
I think JJ came off the bench, so he'll be good to go for next game. I have a feeling, which will be in a couple weeks
in the mix when he's healthy again. But these two could hold it down if you need them to.
Yep.
They just need to. Fucking Najum was only 20.
Yeah, he's a baby. He's a baby. The other side of the ball, your start of the week, Joe Marchant. Phenomenal.
On and off the field. Can we and we'll get to the glorious Quins interview combo. But just first the Marler. God, you want to hate him, and then he makes you not, and it fucking pisses me off.
Damn it, Joe.
Like when he's like, yeah, that whole thing about you didn't think it was about the fans, and you didn't realize how dead it felt until all of a sudden they're back, and you realize how much it meant to you, and it's just like, oh, right in the feels.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, and for as shitty as he can be, can't we all? So you kind of want to cut him a little slack too, as much as he's like that. He's like a brother that you just either you want to hug or punch. And
It's true. We all have that sibling or even that friend that you're just like, I want to hit you, but God damn it, come here and give me a hug.
Yeah. So that's Marler.
That's true.
So good for him. And like, the being late to traffic or late due to traffic and playing 78 minutes in a match like that. Yeah. Well done for him.
Yeah. Not bad, Joe. Not bad. Worcester Leicester, kind of a depowered Leicester team, apart from the guy that scored 2 tries, Ellis Gench.
That's all the power they needed.
Really, that's a lot of horsepower sitting right there.
Yes, it is.
Oh shit. I don't get Johnny McPhillips. Like, why is he playing 10?
I like Zach Henry better.
I do too. Why is he playing 10?
Someone else.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Nope, that's a nope. That's a no for me, dog.
Yeah.
How old is Jamie Shillcock?
Skillcock is
23. He's not that old.
Shit.
He's turning into quite a little player for Worcester.
He is.
That was a nice little combination. I think it was him and Humphreys on the wing that led to his try.
I think he gained experience points from that fucking catch pose against Sale. And just put him to good use, and they're everywhere. And now he's just an excellent player.
Yeah, I like what he's done. Yeah, he should definitely be in most of the lineups. Honestly, I'm not sure who keeps him out. Nick David's leaving, so you'll see Brendan Merver coming soon. But really, I don't know. I don't know who keeps him out otherwise.
And on the other side, though, it's nice to finally see Ted Hill.
Yeah.
Has Absolutely. He been? Where'd this guy come from, or where has he been? Between Skillcock and Hill, I thought that those are the two to me. Obviously, I mean that probably to everybody stars of the match for that Worcester side.
Yeah, definitely.
That try, just you're not going to tackle me, and
nope.
you got me down, but I'm fucking scoring. Fuck you.
Yep. he's trying to get on a certain person's radar again. We'll see for a couple summer matches. We'll see.
I wish he'd started that campaign at around week 1 or so. Not week 20.
I do agree. I do agree with that. But better late than never sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes.
Yeah, and and there's just and Leicester just muscled themselves out of this. And Worcester did their usual thing where they got close and they found a way to fuck it up.
Mm-hmm.
Not a new thing for them.
Nope. I was not surprised to see.
Neither was I. That's the sad part.
I mean, once Genj put the first one down and then he got close on this, and I was like, no, he's over. That's game.
Yep.
Like you score 2 tries against Worcester, you win.
Seems it, right? Let's jump over to Franklin's Gardens, and it was bouncing once again. Alex Waller with his 300th game for Northampton.
How does that happen?
I don't know, man. Explain why Ethan Waller wasn't there. I'm pretty sure he wasn't playing for Worcester. I'm pretty sure he was there.
That's true.
So, I mean, whatever you want to say about a player, good, bad, whether they're a shitty person or not, man, 300 games isn't by accident. So it takes a lot. He's been
so much.
And he's been a leader for them for a while now too. So
that's like 15 seasons worth of matches.
He's seen quite a bit.
Yeah.
He's seen quite a bit. So that's a lot of credit to him.
Wait, but then you look at it and he's 31.
Right, and he's a prop too. That's the thing.
Right.
Like
he could play
another 5
years.
Life. That's not an easy life.
Right. He could play another 5 years.
Oh, he could get to 400 easy.
Fuck.
Easy.
That's good for him.
I won't be shocked.
Is there anything more impressive than props? No, there is not.
Yes, quite good, especially that one. I don't know. There's a guy that got named to the Lions that people were scratching their heads and saying, I guess, man.
Shut up.
No, not even you. You at least gave him a little bit of credit, but like people are just like, really? Him? He hasn't played all year.
No,
Courtney Laws is a fucking lion. That's all I know. Holy shit. He's a beast.
He just came back. He's like, you guys miss me?
Yeah, right. He's like, so remember all the things I used to do? Yeah, I'm doing them again. Hi.
Yeah.
Jeez. Oh, that dude's good. And, as I texted you, I was like, Slade Holm is not slow.
No, he's extremely quick.
When he caught Bassett, the guy that got the turnover was Laws. And I know Laws was probably a little bit back to begin with, but still, he beat feet to get back there and make sure that happened. So that says a lot about him.
Mm-hmm.
So I give loads of credit to that man. But let's talk about the try that I think it was the opener for Wasp, Dan Robson. Give that man the 9 shirt in white. Like, he needs it. He deserves it. I don't think there's a whole lot of argument against it at this point, honestly. I don't know. I want to know what the argument is at this point. What's the argument?
I think the argument is Ben Young's, and that's not really an argument.
No, it doesn't.
Shut up.
Like, I want to know what it is that Ben Young's is so much better at than Dan Robson.
You really want to know?
I mean, apart from closed doors. I mean, if that's your thing, man, that's your thing. It's
right.
Okay. Not judging you for that.
That's not a good way to build a rugby team.
No, probably not.
All. That's all. That's my only problem with it is that's not how you should make your selections.
Probably not. Probably not a good idea.
Right.
If we're basing it off that, then there's probably some guys that have more skill than him in those terms.
Look, I don't fucking know.
No, I know. I wouldn't make a rugby team on that. Right. That's all I know. Anyway, let's not get
you're really bad at it.
Listen, I wasn't trying to sell myself down the river, okay? I don't know what to do. I can't help it.
Anyway, let's talk about the hit by Dan Bigger on Jacob Umaga and the fact that it wasn't sanctioned either in the match or after the match.
I was surprised at it.
That's bullshit.
I was very surprised at it. I was like, oh, that's not good. I saw it and I thought immediately, oh, that's bad news.
Because it's always that's always a yellow when you do that these days. So
right.
How is that? And like there was like a stoppage in play, so there was more than enough time. They were like showing the replay. They're like, "Oh, this kind of happened," and they're like, "Is the TMO going to buzz about it?" And they're like, "I guess not." They just played on.
Beats the hell out of me, man.
In what world is that not? Was that acceptable? Right? Didn't Jasper Wiese get like 3 weeks for that?
Possibly, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. I think that's probably right on the money there. Couple guys I do want to talk about. Naiyaravoro bounced Umaga. Like,
yeah, he did.
Good Lord. I was like, oh, that was not a fair fight.
No.
That was not a fair fight the second it started to happen. I'm like, this is going to go poorly.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
Yeah. I mean, Umaga tried to get low, and Naiyaravoro just got lower and just bounced him. I was like, oh, poor kid. Sorry, buddy. Oh, that was just too bad. Sorry, bud. Yeah, we talked about Slade Holm and his amazing speed. He's pretty good. Odogwu
torn ACL.
Oh man,
I was worried about that.
I saw it and everybody's like, oh, he's walking. I'm like, that's not shit.
Right.
We've said it before and we'll say it again. If somebody walks off the field under their own power, it means nothing.
I carried my kit and folding chair.
Yes, exactly.
No, it doesn't mean shit if they're walking.
No, it means nothing. It's
right.
if it's well weird. Torn, it's done.
Yeah.
It
felt weird.
It'll feel weird. It's done.
Yeah.
Yep. So we thought we weren't going to be entertained, and then we saw Tom Willis's ass.
Oh yes, I am entertained.
right at the end there.
Right at the end, yeah.
Yeah. Last try of the game, and Watts tried to save it, but
no.
I mean, it was a good try. Just a better bum. That's all.
Exactly. You don't mess with perfection.
No, you don't. So Northampton are able to win their first one with, I believe this is their first one with fans. So that's great.
Yep.
That's great stuff for them. And looking forward to seeing some more of those guys up and down there. Do we even need to talk about this? This was horrible. Exeter and Newcastle. Like
I'm so disappointed in Dean Richards.
Right.
Like, I get what he was trying to do, but it was such a bad idea. Like, they're not ready for Lions. These are kids that are like, they're puppies. They're not ready to play against Sam Simmons and Joe Simmons. They're certainly not ready to play against Johnny Hill.
Right.
And keep just going down the line, and then Hogg comes in. Like, what the fuck? They bring Johnny Hill and Hogg off the bench, Stuart Hogg off the bench.
It's terrifying.
And Thomas Francis. And so that's right there. That's three
Lions.
Three starting for their country players, and you're bringing off the field Zach Kerr.
Right.
And Will Hayden Wood
in Montgomery and Madison, who was, I'm pretty sure this was his first game.
And you're getting Carl Ferns hurt because he's got to do so much, butt wiping
for an old man,
kids pooping all over the place. Yeah.
I mean, I see.
And Toby Flood,
Flood, definitely the old man of the group.
Right. Gary Graham had to do a lot of work. It's just that, you're putting on people that aren't ready. On the back end or the front end. Like, your pups are too puppy. Your old guys are
definitively old.
Yeah, and not really ready to.
There was a lot that they had to carry. Like, I think a lot of veterans would have struggled in that situation.
They would have, and you don't have, it's not like Mark Wilson was playing in this match.
Right.
Gary Graham's not bad.
That would have been one more thing.
And Ferns isn't bad. But yeah, they need, they need some help. It can't just be the two of them in the forwards, and that's it.
Right.
So didn't do his team right. And I realized that he's trying, that their next two matches for Newcastle, their next two matches could potentially put them into the top 8. Because they're playing Worcester,
and they're playing Quins.
And
we'll see
playing
what Quins look like.
And the Quins, who won't give a shit at that point.
They may not, yeah.
So that might be, they might steal 2 wins, and that would make them, where are they? They're in 11th, but they're at 39 points. Wasps and Bath are at 43. So
it's there.
It's right there. And Gloucester's at 41. But again, who knows what the three of them are going to do. 2 wins for Newcastle seal it. And you're not going to beat Exeter no matter what. So I get the whole, let's not even try. But fuck. And I get the whole, let's blood our youth. But that was blooding your youth. And that was
bloody.
Not in a good way.
No.
Because Bath Gloucester's canceled.
Yes.
That's big, right? They'll
Bath will win.
Oh, Bath will get the win.
Likely.
Oh, okay.
Because Gloucester, the one that had to cancel.
I thought it was Bath that got the. Okay.
No, because Gloucester shared the Hartbury germs.
Right. Okay. Well,
whoops.
Yeah. Well, it looks like that fucked Newcastle anyway. So what the fuck are you doing, team?
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see now. The last match of the weekend, the Premier 15's final, and it was a really good match.
Rocking.
Yeah,
all the way.
It was a really awesome match to watch. As a Sarries supporter, obviously, I was cheering for the Sarries women to get it done with Poppy Cleland company. Did you see Squidge's tweet about Packer?
Yes. About imagine bullying
bullying a kid and finding out that kid's mom
is Marley
Packer. Oh no, I've made a terrible error. Big time. Oh man, yeah, do not mess with Marley Packer's kid. No way. Yeah. She's a beast. She's a monster.
Badass.
If the Saracens had figured out the comeback, she would have been player of the match. Excuse me.
Absolutely.
100%. Like absolutely. That, she was just willing her way to try and get that friggin' team over the line. Oh man. But in the end, really, and the other sad part was watching Rachel Burford have to come out so friggin' early.
Bad. Oh, that was so awful. That's sad.
Yeah, but the woman that put in the shift of the whole game was Shauna Brown.
Easily.
Oh, a tight head going the distance. Yeah, holy shit.
In a championship match against the team and against a team that had beat them twice in this match the last 2 years.
Mm-hmm. Correct.
What a shift. But and before we move on to Harlequins, well, and actually no, I do want to, but I want to talk about how good this is for the league itself, because it used to be Sarries could just wake up and be like, all right, go out there and win, like no big deal.
Quite often they did it.
They made 2 key mistakes in this match. The first you noticed was in their lineup, and I can't recall what you had mentioned about it.
Well, I wasn't really a fan of pulling Fleetwood off the friggin' floor.
Maybe that's what it was. Yeah, that's what it was, pulling her off.
Yeah.
And then but then again with the the game plan, it was very much keep the ball in tight, but all they did, whenever they tried to expand away from what they had wanted, they just gained meters and meters and meters, and then they would, all their penalties were at the breakdown. So it's
keep the hell away from the damn breakdown.
Yes, stay away from breakdown situations, and you're gonna be fine. But instead, they were like, no, we wanted to pound them, and it's like, well, how'd that fucking work out for you? So, no. But it's a league now where Saracens can make those 2 tactical errors mid-game, and it costs them.
Mm-hmm.
So good for it's and that I said all that to talk about Shauna Brown and her post-match interview, and how she talked about how much this was not just for her, it's not just for the team, it's for the sport, and it's for women. Mm-hmm. It's for all those things. It's not just for each, and it's for all of them.
Yeah, it must mean a lot, because I don't cry. I'm crying. I was like, yeah, I guess so. God damn it, stop making me cry.
I'm not crying. You're crying.
No kidding. Damn it. Catherine's like, are you crying? I was like, yes. Guilty as charged.
Yeah. How are you not? So, but that's so true, because that's what it means. That was a professional final right there. So who's going to talk shit? Like, that's what I love. That's where I loved how she transitioned to that. Who's going to talk shit about that? Like, you can't. That was just such a great product, great match. And I hope it continues to build, because we need a situation where the champs are pushed, not just, they're the best, so they're the best.
Right.
You always want that competition, and that's going to take investment, which we're getting.
Yep.
and it'll grow. And I'm super happy to see it because Shauna Brown deserves that kind of recognition.
Yeah.
So does Rachel.
All day.
And it was sad to see Jess Breach couldn't play, but it was awesome to see her celebrating too with everyone.
Yep. It was fantastic.
And Rachel dancing around on one foot.
Right. Well, did you see when she was trying to get on the field? I don't remember who it was, but one of her flankers was just like, "Here, hop on, I'll carry you out there so you can celebrate." That's a teammate right there. That is a true teammate right there.
Right.
I loved it. I was like, "Yes, that is great."
That is how you do.
I would have been lazy and been like, "Here, just I'll kind of carry you." Not what she did. She did everything you probably should do. Oh man, it was a fantastic match. Anybody that watched that and said, "Oh, women's rugby sucks," I challenge you to watch that match and say you're not entertained. If you're not, then you just won't ever be convinced. In which case, fuck off. I don't want anything to do with you.
Yeah.
But
good. Just excellent match.
Yeah, really good stuff.
And if you can't even be happy, you can't even admit that it's a good match because Saracens lost, then we really can't. I'm a Saracens fan, and I know that non-Saracens fans will always love Saracens losing. So there's something for everyone in that match. Yes, I guarantee you.
This is true. This is true. Ain't it the truth? We were able to get our asses down to Union Point Stadium, watch the Free Jacks take down the Arrows.
Yeah, fuck you,
yes.
Arrows.
Sorry, Carrick.
Yeah, no, okay, yeah. You're
sorry,
cool,
sorry, not sorry. Yeah, just a gritty performance from the Free Jacks. Bodine Waka boot was on fire.
It certainly was.
Yeah, we love it.
Used the wind to great effect in in the first half.
Yeah, he knew what he was doing.
In the second half. So.
He was the wind died. It was like, whoops. I was like, okay, that worked well.
Yeah,
not.
So that's
really in the whole match. The one blip was that complete brain fart on defense where the big lock scored. I don't remember the guy's name.
He's walked.
Everything else was pretty damn good from the Free Jacks. It was a tight game. It was a really shitty ball because it was wet. So,
but they had that defensive stand, and it was the first half. I think because that was closer to us.
Yep. And they had a second half one too, if I remember right.
Right. They're showing to be not a bad team.
No, they're tough out. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Josh Larson got into the team of the week as he should because he puts in the work every friggin' week, man. He's totally worth it.
We need locks. We need locks.
Which is locks not named Josh Larson.
Right. I know nothing wrong with Josh Larson, but after him,
call his brother. He'll come over here.
Yeah, please.
We'll take him. Larson works for the Arnolds.
Yeah. But yeah, Phoebus is
not
limited.
the same.
He's limited.
Yeah, he's limited. If he stays within his game, he's fine. But when he tries to go out there, the other person I want to give a shout out, I think he's the guy that ended up scoring the only try for the Free Jacks, Johnston. What a difference maker he can be.
I appreciate his efforts. Yes.
Yeah, that dude. He gets around the paddock, and he's a problem when he's wherever he is. Like, he knows how to carry. He knows how to try and steal the ball. He tackles well. Yeah, you can't ask more from a guy out in the loose.
Nope.
So I genuinely enjoy watching him. And Harry Barlow didn't quite perform the way he performed to get his call up, but that's okay. Mm-hmm. It was a wet ball. It sucked.
It was.
We'll throw him a bone.
Yeah.
Throw him a bone. Other action, San Diego beat Houston, like I said last week. I don't think Houston's very good. Atlanta downs the Giltinis. Giltinis eat their second loss of the year.
Fuck yeah.
Hell yeah, Atlanta. Thank you very much.
For two teams, the Free Jacks and whoever
beats LA. Exactly. Yep. Utah beat Austin, a good Austin team at that. So look out for the guys out in the Warriors there. And then our two of our old friends, DC and New York, went at, and New York tonked DC. Yikes. So that'll be interesting to see what happens coming up this
also
weekend.
In weather, which that was also possibly affected by weather too.
I think it was too. Yeah, that was a pretty gross game. Yeah, because this weekend our old friends DC come to town on Sunday. Should be interesting. We'll see how that goes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's going to be, might be a little bit on the twilight side, 6 p.m. kickoff.
Ooh, interesting.
Yeah, we'll see how that goes. Anywho, let's do start sit.
All right. I believe I'm starting us off.
Yeah, I think you got the kickoff there.
With Crusaders versus Force. Crusaders going with the mixed lineup. which fucking sucks for you, doesn't it? No Richie Mwanga.
I'm not. I'm only worried about like not getting the Sacco. So whatever.
Oh, that's okay. I thought you. For some reason I thought you were in the playoff.
No, I didn't. I was close.
Yeah. And Sevu Reese, which sucks for me. I would say Scott Barrett is a pretty sneaky play, as are Cullen Grace, Bryn Hall, and the fucking awesomely named Fergus Burke. I don't know if 30 Rock with their Barbara Walters character or Seinfeld could do a better story about Fergus Burke, because there's so much to be done there. I love it. Best I can't stop saying it. And the rest of the back line is a go. For the Force, Kane Kuteka, Thomas Kubeli, in that he should score in the positive at least. So I would put him in your lineup and
hope.
Yeah, and hope. But there's much worse matchups. So give him a go if you must. Domingo Miati, Kuradrani, and that's about it for the Force. Outside of them, just stand aside.
Mm-hmm. Stay away. Mm-hmm. Reds Blues, the age-old battle, red versus blue. Blues are fourth in points against per match over the entire FRD season, but obviously they're right. But despite their tear, so for the Reds, Isaac Henry looked great last week. Ride him again. If you have him on your team, you are playing him. Mm-hmm. Simple as that. Another guy I talked about earlier, Vunivalu, red hot, just absolutely hot. Ride that dude. Get in on it. Even if they get tonked this week, I still see him finding a try at least. Mm-hmm. So go ahead and use that. On the other side of the coin, Angus Scott Young, not satisfied with his production of late, and in really. Semifinal week 2, not sure it's worth the play.
Yeah, no.
Reds are first in points against per match, but we've obviously seen what's happened the last couple of weeks. They've still allowed points, so Trans-Tasman has changed things a little bit. Mm-hmm. For the Blues, Finlay Christie last week made me smile to see him do so very well. No reason to think he can't do it again. Mm-hmm. Thumbs up. Blues front row, Hodgman returns this week. It's already a potent front row unit. They're a good play. Mark Talia, is he fit? Mm-hmm. How long does he last? Mm-hmm. Play with caution. Mm-hmm. That's all I'll say about him.
Fuck. Those of us with Reese and Talia are not pleased. Highlanders versus the Waratahs. This look to this match if you were looking for points. The Taz are weak everywhere but loose forward and midfield. And the Highlanders are weak against outside backs, midfielders, loose forwards, front rows. Basically the places that score fantasy points. They are the best against fly halves though, so take that into consideration. For the Highlanders, even with the Taz being strong against loose forwards, still go with Frizzell and Jimeno. Just do it.
Yep.
Aaron Smith, Mitch Hunt, the guy we talked about before, the three of them, Nareki,
the Recce dude,
Collins, and Tompkins. Yeah. You don't hear me say this often. Scott Gregory could score points because he's
that's what kind of match this is.
Yeah. He's been scoring points because that's the kind of matches that the Highlanders have been having, and the Waratahs are no different. This is Marlon Yard could score in this match, I think. So yeah, Scott Gregory probably
he might.
He just might. Who knows? Maybe Marlon Yard will show up and score in this match. Stranger things have happened. On the other side, the Waratahs front row is a go. Will Harris, Jake Gordon, sit whoever the Taz fly half is or will be. But the 11 through 15 are full go.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Brumbies Hurricanes. Hurricanes are middle of the pack in points against, but so could be a fun match for the neutral, not me, who's going to sit there and wax and wane and feel every heartache that the tries when tries are scored against the Hurricanes. For the Brumbies, Solomoni Kata, I'm betting he finds some space this week. Probably the winger that the Hurricanes kind of forget about, because there's Banks and Wright on the other side. Bailey Kunzel, we could see the Brumbies rotate because of being eliminated. So if you see him, I'd still play him. That'd be something. On the other side of the coin, Nick White didn't look great last week. Not sure he's the play for this week, especially because I'm still not convinced he's fully fit. I'm not sure the Brumbies are convinced he's fully fit, honestly.
Yeah.
Let's be real. Brumbies second in points against per match, but they've been pretty leaky of late if you haven't noticed. Artie is back. Yes, you're going to play him. Don't hesitate. Do it. Just
Yep.
stop being cute. Just do it.
Yep. Do it.
The midfield, really, I don't know. They've been great this comp, so it doesn't matter. If it's Lamape, Proctor, Umaga Jensen, doesn't matter. They've all been great. So give them all a thumbs up if they're in. Luke Campbell on the other side of the coin, not quite fitting that TJ mold that he needs to be a fantasy producer. So play with caution at best for Mr. Luke Campbell.
On to Chiefs versus Rebels. So, you kind of tend to think that teams will kind of, when they lose their star player, and the rest of the team suffers. But in the end, it looked like the Chiefs' fantasy points last week were fucking on fire against the Reds, who are a better fantasy defense than the Rebels. So I think that this might actually, if you're for Chiefs fantasy owners, might be a blessing in disguise. A blessing, period, unless you own D-Mack, in which case drop him.
Yep.
But I kind of would say pretty much start everyone, because even the Vai, whoever is at lock is still still scoring. They're 6, 7, 8. Peter Gus has been scoring. Did just go with Bashir. Fuck Bashir, he's awesome.
Yep.
And then as I said, what's his name at 10? Trask at 10 could still run that attack extremely well and be a good distributor, and still obviously run himself. So go with everyone, because they'll throw their house at the Rebels. I'm hoping on the other side, I'm hoping the Rebels go back to Tamu at 10. It's not working with the 10, 12.
Yeah, kid Carter, yeah.
So just
please, pretty please,
push him back. Yeah, it's not working. Michael Wells should do well. Nazarani too. Joe Powell, Corabetti, and that George Worth character who popped out of nowhere. All of them should have your trust this week.
Right. Yeah, I think it's almost like he and Potter swap places or something like that.
And Cobus.
Right. Although he was in
right. He was
Wellington. Anyway, start of the week. Let's see if both my picks of the week start in Super this week. I've not had it happen yet, for at least not for about 4 or 5 weeks. Anyway, he was a bit of an oversight for many in terms of international teams back row. Certain conversation we had a while ago, and and he's opened our eyes completely. If you haven't been paying attention, I've liked him for years, and it puts a smile on my face to say for round 16 of Super Rugby FRD, my shot of the week is All Blacks and Highlanders blindside Sham Frizzell.
Oh, nice. Okay, good. Not the same guy.
Getting close.
Same position, different game, different home country. So not even close. Good. My start of the week, I briefly painted over him, but I talked about him a lot earlier as that I'm becoming a big fan. And I really couldn't think of a back at this point who would not be a complete duh as a starter. So I'm going to go with a forward also, and I'm going to go with Michael Wells.
Yes.
For the Rebels versus the Chiefs. Should score very well.
Yep. I like Michael Wells. I will give me some Wellesley all day long. All right. So the week. Unfortunately, this guy has kind of disappeared for his club since they switched to Trans-Tasman. I'm wondering if their efforts in the previous season comp have left them a bit gassed, apart from week 1. The worst news is they're wandering into Christchurch against an unforgiving outfit. So my set of the week for round 16 of Super Rugby FRD is Pumas and Western Force halfback Thomas Cabelli.
Oh my! Okay, we disagree on that one, sir. Although we both agree that it'll be
a struggle. I think it's gonna be I think we both agree it's gonna be a struggle.
That's absolutely. I've already picked a 9 against Crusaders at home for my sit of the week, so I have no nothing wrong with that. But I was positive potentially. My sit of the week is we mentioned him. I kind of glossed over him because I'm not sure he's going to be starting, because he probably shouldn't be. But ultimately, he shouldn't be starting for your team if you want to finish this week in a finals of some sort, whether TACO or otherwise. But Ben Donaldson should not be your 10 this week.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. Well, hopefully you're not in the SACO. The SACO means you lost.
Right. Oh, shit. Okay.
Yeah, Sacco means you lost. Just bad. If you're in that, you're in trouble. You're probably looking at a forfeit of some sort.
Yikes.
Let's head north to the Prem. Sale Quins Friday night. Geez, Sale just keep backing them up one after another here. Quins are middling to generous in points against per match, including 9th in FRD now. Even Sale might be able to take advantage of this. For the Sharks, JLDP, I was banging the drum for him last week, even at lock. He was a beast. So even if he's at lock, you're playing him. Do it. Quirk, we talked about him earlier. If he starts, he's a go. Maybe even worth a gamble off the bench, depending on what your situation is, especially with 2 matches canceled this week.
And with the other 9s just not having great matchups. Right.
A lot of matchups are poor.
Danny Kerr has a shit matchup against Sale. Who else? Worcester.
Bristol against Leicester.
Bristol against Leicester. Worcester against Newcastle. So
up in Newcastle, I believe.
Up in Newcastle. So Hugard is not. Yeah. So Quirk is absolutely an option this week.
Yep. On the other side of the coin, Byron McGuigan, worth a roll of the dice in FRD probably. Harlequins are poor against OBs, but not more than that, and I wouldn't play them in TRM. If you have them, what the fuck you doing? Sale are no fun to play against, as we've noted many times before, fantasy purposes especially, or real. Second and third in points against per match. Quins find ways to score those, so let's see. Luke Northmore, enjoy watching him play every time he's played. He scored well every time he's played, so I'll give him a thumbs up. I know that's a tough spot, but 13 might be more manageable than like 12. So let's put it that way. Jack Kenningham seems to be plug and play for Quins number 7s in Will Evans's place. He's a go. I enjoyed watching him last week, so he's a thumbs up. On the other side, Levis might be an okay play this week in TRM, but don't play any other Harlequin second row, Simmons, Tizard, whoever. And honestly, like Levis is probably somebody that you should land on your bench so you can get the points, but I wouldn't waste a starting spot on him if you can help it. That's just my thought.
Okay, over to way up to Newcastle.
Can you hear me up there?
I'm assuming that Newcastle rested this week to prep for the last 2 weeks, as we said earlier. Because the fuck did that mean otherwise? So I'm hoping that we'll see a George McGuigan type or a Greg Peterson. If yes, then yes. The flankers, depending on who is in, but both should score well. For this week, you might think about Brett Connon as a way to add value to your team, if depending on what you're looking at 10. And in TRM, I'm thinking
right,
because at this point you should be thinking about getting yourself set up for the playoffs. In which case, the higher your value of your team overall, the better it works out for you. So that's why I would talk about a Brett Connon and a Chidera Obana as potential starters. Those two, ride those 2 guys, and you might get another 50K in 1 week or 2 weeks. So something to think about. On the other side, Ted Hill, Sam Lewis, and Sam Lewis is another guy who could do that for you.
Right.
I'd expect low output from Hugard because Newcastle are actually tough against 9s. Doyle Rules, Howe and Humphreys, whoever's on that other wing, and Skillcock. Skillcock.
Yeah. Dole looked really good, actually. He didn't. That was his first start for Worcester, I think.
It was, and he showed well.
Yeah, didn't look too bad. Leicester versus Bristol. Despite last week's loss, Bristol are still number 1 in both formats and points against. What can Leicester do? For the Tigers, Jack Van Portvliet, if he's in, his playing style completely and 100% suits fantasy. And it's a place Bristol actually can be had, so I'd play him. Hunter and Jasper are probably still worth plays. Just proceed with caution. Both guys are going to be really hard to sit. Just like I said, proceed with caution. Johnny McPhillips, don't get cute. He's awful. Even with options eliminated this week, that is a hard no. Don't play him. Zach Henry was still kicking the points if you didn't notice. So yeah, no, he's not worth it. Just don't get funny. Okay. Leicester are 5th in both formats in points against. Maybe Bristol can help us out and sink that number down to 6th or 7th. We'll see. For the Bears, Sheedy, rough one last week. He'll be back to his normal. Don't blink. Just don't even hesitate. Do it. Chris Vui, Leicester are tough against second rows, but he is not your ordinary second row.
No.
And neither is Bristol, so play him. On the other side of the coin, Luke Morahan. With luck, we will never see him and have to consider him as a fantasy asset ever again.
Hopefully not due to injury, just that he's just
that's more what I'm getting at. Hopefully he's pined, and I know he got hurt last week, but yeah, hopefully we see basically anybody else. Lloyd, Nalago, Adiolokin, all that way better. Mm-hmm. Way Purdy. Better. Yeah, please. Something.
Oh, okay. Over to the Irish versus Wasps. For the Irish, at this point, lean on that back line. They have just been producing all across, so go with that. Mm-hmm. Wasps are kind of strong against wings, outside backs, midfield, but without Odogwu, I think that changes because they've been strong.
Or Fekitoa,
right? They lost both of them. Fuck yeah, they're fucked at center. So that's gonna seriously hurt their fantasy defense.
Agreed.
And the regular defense. Tui Sui's another guy. He's at 200K in TRM. He could add some value heading into the final weeks. On the other side, Umaga's strong play outside of getting carded. That fucked me over in one of our leagues, but in FRD. But keep going with him because he'll score fine. He'll come good. And then really the outside backs, Kibarigi, Bassett, Miller, or Atkinson, whoever's back there should be fine to start. You got to see who their forwards look like though, because if Gaskell's not around, that kind of changes, or Rollins could change how some. Especially,
I think Rollins came through healthy, thankfully. So
okay,
Cardinal was probably the other lock.
And then you never know what they're going to throw out at flankers, because you don't want to start Brad Shields in either format. And Thomas Young is he's coming good, but I think he's still way too expensive. And
in TRM,
certainly in TRM, you shouldn't have him on your team, even if you're trying to hold value there. There's other places where you could spend that kind of dough
and find more useful things.
Right.
I agree. Northampton versus Exeter. Exeter are fourth and second in points against after last week, they're feeling themselves pretty good. Saints might have something to say, and certainly will offer something better than Newcastle did. So this should be interesting. For the Saints, Slade Holm, speed rarely ever goes into slumps, and he has boatloads of it if you weren't paying attention. So give him a thumbs up. Somebody we mentioned before, Alex Waller or Paul Hill. Exeter are terrible against props and ninth against FRD front rows. So go. Go. Especially with Sam Matavesi getting thrown into the FRD front row mix.
Yep.
Biggs or Grayson could be a tough week for either, especially Grayson. Exeter are top two against fly halves and FRD. If you need to, not in TRM. Don't be dumb. Don't be dumb. There's better options.
Yeah, there's way better options.
Northampton have climbed to third and sixth in points against per match.
Wow,
this might break this. Might break it though. So we'll see. We will see. For Exeter, Joe Simmons, we questioned him earlier as a fantasy option, but he is coming good at crunch time, and he doesn't want Sam to take all the plaudits either. So
I'm a
sibling rivalry.
I'm a knight, damn it.
Yes, it's true.
I'm the one who you call sir. What the fuck?
Sir Joe
Sam
Simmons.
getting all the attention. Yeah.
The fuck, man. Tom O'Flaherty, we talked about him being streaky. He's on one of the hot variation right now.
Yes.
He might even be a league winner at this point.
I fucked up when I dropped him. Although I'm happy that it got me Gensh. But
I mean, you got something good in return. Honestly.
I got some great stuff in return, so I'm okay with it. I had to do what I had to do.
You can live with it.
Yeah.
I can say this with confidence this week. Dave Ewers should not be in your team, especially this week. Northampton are number one versus flankers and third versus loose forwards. So that's a no for me, man. No go.
And I guess we're on to starts and sits.
We are
of the weeks. We mentioned. Well, I think you mentioned both of my starts and sits. They were near matches. My start of the week is a fly. They're both fly halves. Fuck that.
How about
that? Callum Sheedy for Bristol.
Sheeds
hump the hell out of the Tigers. So
they're at home, right? No, they're at Welford Road.
Oh, I don't think it matters.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm sure they're going to be pissed. So
yeah.
That being more the important part.
Right. And I'm not sure that Leicester have a defensive 10 who can really slow down Sheedy.
Right.
And they, without much help, because there's so much that Bristol are going to throw at them that you can't really be like, all right, well, we're going to, we'll help you out with the 12, because what the fuck, you're going to, all right, then you can open the lane for Piers O'Connor. Oh, fine. He'll take it. Or
Rads or Charlie Piatel. Like, geez.
Right. Yeah. You're going to it's going to be one-on-one tackles out there. And I like Sheedy.
Yeah. I agree. Yeah. Max Malon's on the wing is a terrifying thing now too.
No, it's an awesome thing.
Yeah. Oh, I love it. For me, the news coming down from this guy's opposition had probably got him a little disappointed that he can't test himself in the fashion he probably wants to, because he's a competitive guy, but it'll leave him licking his chops at the same time, and especially his fantasy owners. He's living life in Brentford, so my start of the week for round 21 of the Prem is Wallabies and Exile center Curtis Rona.
Oh, his try was pretty fucking awesome.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
his past week too. Again, all those London Irish backs are really showing nuts.
Because you're probably going to see Gopperth and Labourgeois in the middle. That'd be my guess.
Oh no!
Right. Oh, and as far as defense goes, that's terrifying.
It's horrible. You're already dead. Stop.
That's what I was thinking with the freaking Exeter match. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Jeez.
I'm already there right now. Speaking of the Exeter match, my 10 is involved in this, or my sit of the week. My 10 is involved in this match, and not on the Exeter side, obviously. I'm going sit Dan Bigger, because the Exiles are going to contain him, and I don't think, the Exeter are going to contain him. I don't think that he's going to get too many shots at goal. I don't think he's going to do the things that'll get Dan Bigger points.
Yep.
But Exeter are locked in right now.
Right. Yeah, you're probably not wrong. My guy comes from the same week, but I'm also wondering if he'll be healthy. Assuming he is healthy, he picked up a calf injury recently, but we'll see. Just the same. If not, I have a backup already in mind, so don't worry.
I was worried.
Yeah, I don't mind this guy, but I'm also not totally convinced he's international quality quite yet. He's definitely performed better in club colors, but his opposition is going to make a return miserable if he is back this week. My sit of the week for around 21 of the Prem is England and Saints fullback George Furbank.
Yeah, I agree. Just don't.
Same idea.
Yeah, stay away.
Yep, stay away. Whip around for the Champions League. Let's go to the semifinals in both. In the championship bracket, we had Mark and me. Mark got me. Mark's got a 40-point advantage on me, so that's not great for me.
No.
And then Anton won the first week of he and Carrick's match. But Duncan decided to pull it all out for the Sacco bracket. 200 points.
Good for Duncan. Yeah, I think he was. I think he was one of those that I think people were kind of glad not to be playing. His late year
was good.
Rise has been amazing in FRD. So
it was very good. Yeah. And then Justin got the best of you to start off that one.
But
so you got
that's 20 points. Not too bad. 40 points is doable too. Like all these are maybe not so much George, depending on.
Sorry, George.
Yeah,
you're gonna be playing next week too, buddy.
That's a 60-point difference right there. That's hard to make up. The others are make upable.
Semifinal week 1 in Super. We have a tight one between Justin and Mark. Justin's up by like 9. So it'll be interesting. George is up by 60 over Anton in the championship bracket. Sacco bracket, I got about a 12-point lead, which isn't a whole lot. And then you're only down by 7 to Duncan. So there's a lot to play for in that one as well. For the TRM, for the Prem, it's not a ton of movement since last week. I temporarily
got
closed
a little
the
bit
gap.
more space.
Yeah, you have got about a 90-ish, just under 90-point lead over Anton. I'm trying to try my best to catch Duncan.
You got 60 points. There's 3 weeks to go.
Yep, trying my best to catch Duncan. I've put the separation between myself and George, thankfully, so I'm at least going to finish from 4th.
Right. George, and Justin's creeping up on George.
Justin's getting there. He's slowly marching his way up that table there. He's about 20 points away, so look out. Mark Still not holding up the bottom, so that's good for him, for a guy that's never played TRM before.
Right.
And then Carrick's holding up the bottom.
But showing respectably too. Yeah, he's showing respectably. He just had a rough start, just like Mark did.
Yep.
It's weird if you're only used to if you're like I have gotten better at FRD this season because I'm finally sorting that shit out because I really like TRM. It makes more sense to me. But yeah, it's hard to keep them separate. So if you're used to FRD, I think it's probably a harder switch to get over to TRM because the tackles mean so much more.
That's why forwards can win you weeks, man.
Right.
Okay, let's do some picky-ums. No movement because we both picked the same last week. Crusaders and Force. I'm still taking the Crusaders.
I'm still taking the Crusaders.
Yeah. Reds and Blues.
Reds coming off a win.
Right, and so the Blues. Blues are playing for more.
Yeah. I'm going to go with the Reds because I still think the Reds are playing extremely well in general. I mean, as much as I shat on the Chiefs, Reds actually, took it to them pretty good. So them being at home, I'm going to stick with the Reds.
Yep. Highlanders and Taz.
Wait, so you're going Blues?
I am going Blues.
We have disagreement.
Yep.
Good. Good for business.
Hooray. Taz and Highlanders. I think this is back in Dunedin. So under the roof there.
Yep.
Give them the rocking. Brumbies, Hurricanes. I wonder if the Brumbies name a depowered team. So I'm going to go with my Hurricanes.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Canes too.
And that's honestly what I'm hoping for. And I'm kind of hoping that we caught the two best teams in Australia at the best possible time where there's not a lot to be played for.
Right.
So we'll see. Chiefs, Rebels. I think this is back home for the Chefs.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Chiefs.
Yeah, I think Rebels have not looked good since they made that coaching change. I'm sorry. That's just facts. Sale Quins.
Sale.
Yeah, I was really trying to wrestle in my brain if I could manage to find a reason to pick Quins. Not the AJ Bell. I don't think I can, especially with the fans being back.
Not the way Sale are playing right now. It's depressingly amazing.
They're being mean.
Yeah,
that's all I know. Newcastle, Worcester. Newcastle have to right this ship, don't they?
Can they both lose?
They can draw.
Yeah. I'm gonna go. I want to go Worcester. Is it not as far a trip for Worcester as any? Is this like the shortest away trip to Newcastle, or do I have that wrong?
Probably not.
Okay.
Like I don't think they're that close either.
Okay. Well, I know I wasn't sure if they still might be the closest of the other Prem teams. Is what I'm thinking. But yeah, I'm gonna go with the home team. I'm gonna go with Newcastle. I don't like it, but I think they'll come out with more than they put out for. You know what? No, I'm going Worcester. I'm going to think that they continue doing that because now I don't think they have anything to play for.
Yeah, it's about a 5-hour car ride up that way.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm still going Worcester.
Yeah. I mean, it's closer than London.
Right. That's where I'm going. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I think Leicester's the closest.
Oh, okay.
I think Leicester's the closest.
All right.
But yeah. Okay. So you go on
I'm going the
Warriors?
Worcester.
Home of the Warriors. Okay. Leicester and Bristol.
Did you go with Falcons?
I did.
All right.
Yeah. Bristol, they got to right this ship for sure.
Yeah.
Another one that's got to just kind of turn it on.
And they got Leicester, so practice team.
Yeah.
Bristol will win.
Exiles and Wasps.
Irish.
Same. Yeah. I'm very inclined to pick that with things.
Although Wasps do have a bone to pick with Irish. Coming. Didn't the Irish break their streak at the Rico?
I think so.
Way back when.
Yeah,
that was like a year and a half ago. What the fuck?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'll take the Exiles.
But I still think, I think that right now the Irish are the better team.
Yeah. Fans make a difference. Fans make a difference right now.
That's how long ago that was. Yeah, they do.
So, yeah.
And so does not having a center.
Yeah, not having a viable center that's not either bad or old.
Right. Or both.
Yeah, both. Northampton, Exeter. Sorry, Exeter.
Yeah, Exeter.
I know they're Franklin's Gardens, and I'm sure they'll make plenty of noise, but the Chefs will do it.
Mm-hmm. Good. So we got a couple of
couple different.
So that will change things possibly.
Potentially,
or just keep them exactly
it could
the same.
just say, I think there's only 2 different, so it could just flip them.
Yeah.
And that's how she goes.
Right.
Okay. Yeah. Start sits on Friday.
We'll have that out.
I don't have a match to coach, thankfully, on Friday. Yay.
There you go.
Makes my life a little easier. And then fantasyrugbypodcast@gmail.com. We still need 2 more, Malcolm, for the second tier of Champions League. Tweet or Ben or I if you need anything or can think of any questions that you want us to discuss on the pod, because we will have some time coming up here once things go to like finals and semifinals where we don't have as many matches to talk about, so we can talk about some other cool shit too. Otherwise we're just going to talk about random shit.
Well, I do want to talk about at some point, and maybe we can save it for starting next year, but really talk about the investment of that in TRM of picking players based on not just how good they are, but what they'll do for you long term. Those of us who believe we'll be in better position come playoffs, and when you're all the pool of players is the same, but that really a couple 10K, 50K
slightly
here
better,
and there will change how you change their fortunes. So
could be.
Maybe we can talk some about that. Although I think it's too late now this year.
Yeah, but we could still throw that in there somewhere, I'm sure, if you wanted to, because hey, it's our pod, right?
Right.
But yeah, so get at us. Tell your friends about Champions League. Obviously, we'll open up other leagues next year too, so don't forget that.
Right.
And go ahead and tune into the rugbies, and we enjoy you guys coming along for the ride with us, and we'll talk to you guys next week. Have a good one.
Later.
Cheers.